my name is Jason Cohen. I'm the Dean for the Faculty of Commerce, Law and Management. It's fantastic to be here at the Icegov 2024 conference that the Wits School of Governance is hosting in collaboration with UNU and other partners such as DPSA. This conference really sits at the intersection of two important strategic objectives of the university, being digital transformation and the issue of democracy and governance. And the conference is a fantastic opportunity to think through the ways in which digital technologies and artificial intelligence can solve many of our stubborn challenges as a society, but at the same time gives us the chance to grapple with the questions about the unintended consequences of these technologies, the problems they pose for issues of privacy as well, ethical considerations, and of course challenges around digital inequality. So looking forward to the rest of the conference.
My name is Mpho Matsitse. I'm Executive Director at BCX, looking after financial services and insurance. So part of what we're discussing today is what is the difference between digitization and digital transformation, right? So digitization is leveraging newer technologies, emerging technologies to automate a process, right? But that doesn't necessarily transform the activity or what needs to be done as an outcome. Whereas the transformation piece, in terms of digital transformation in itself, looks at really fundamentally changing what is the key value chain. So you take the value chain and you decouple it into what is value creating, what is value eroding, and what is value adding. And you only keep those pieces that are value creating and value adding, right? So if we take example of Uber, what they recognize and in transforming that organization, leveraging digital, essentially showcasing a use case of digital transformation. You had taxis on one side of the city looking for patrons, and you had patrons on one side of the city looking for taxis. So what Uber did is it showed the taxis where the patrons are, show the patrons where the taxis are. And they were really fundamentally the middleman that allowed people to get transport as and when they required it, right? So that if you look at it, that's really just the key difference. And at BCX, we're really all about helping our companies, both private and public, to really drive digital transformation across the board. Some of the key technologies we've invested in is AI, which allows AI technologies to be leveraged in the contact center in Afrikaans, isiZulu, and other South African languages, right? We're proudly South African tech provider, and we look forward to working with you soon. Thank you.
I think the digital transformation and engagement of students, young children, youth in this is affected by the fact that while there is an expectations that students of all ages will use artificial intelligence or technologies in general in a responsible manner, but there is no framework or guideline or law that regulates this particular area. Laws by nature tend to take time to come into effect, to be developed. Technologies by nature are evolving continuously. So students' eagerness, ability, or enthusiasm to use technologies cannot and will not wait for the lawmakers to adapt themselves and be producing more agile lawmaking practices or laws or regulations per se. So it is very important that institutions show the leadership, use creativity and innovation to come up with guidelines which integrate the ethics of AI or use the existing international norms and standards to make students self-empowered through media information literacy and other such processes to use technology in a responsible, safe and secure manner. About digital transformation is around not just coming up with technologies and use of technologies, but also, one, having communication processes, having consultation processes. So technology that is being developed, the technological outputs which are being developed are actually need-based and serve the communities or the needs of the people. Second, that these technologies are not just in the custody of a few people, experts. There is a need for wider awareness, education and communication about digital technologies to enhance people's participation in the production, consumption and sharing of digital technologies.
There has been a question around what is the AI approach that government wants to undertake. And because we believe that AI is what is called a global purpose technology, it needs to be able to effect efficiencies in the system, and we're looking at it from 4 areas. The first area is about the issue of preventative aspects of AI in terms of, for example, how we make use of it to check our energy systems and issue around the disaster. The second issue is around automotive services, where services that are required by people, whether it's in education, whether in health, it's supposed to be seamless and easy to get. The third issue is around diagnostic aspects, where AI is able to determine whether there is a problem that will need to affect the nation. For example, we would have known COVID before time if we used AI. And then the fourth issue is around analytical ability of AI. AI can be able to check whether our plans or the intentions that we have are realizable or not. So in those 4, there are 2 components around it. We're looking for productivity and we're looking for economic growth, and all that must lead to job creation.
The issue that we were raising was what happens when a frontier gets settled. So you have a frontier like the cyberspace, the internet frontier, and what happens when it's opened up? Well, first of all, there's some things about what's already there, so there's a problem of not paying attention to what's already existing in the frontier. That's what we call colonialism. But there's also the problem of the kind of people who get there first and set up their little castles or their ranches, and they control the frontier with force. And we know that that has to change. And so when we look at the internet as a frontier, one of the questions is, why let large companies be the dominant force? So for instance, the world's knowledge is accumulated by the internet, by search engines. And those search engines are really accumulating human knowledge as a public good. And right now, that's controlled by advertising and commercial interests. But we all know that we have national libraries, and we all know that we need to have access to those libraries universally. And the curation of what's in those libraries is a public good, not a private good. So there's some very fundamental underlying questions about how we understand the commons and cyberspace as a human opportunity.